to our first women's outreach group. Thanks for coming, because Steve Allen put this on me recently. He's like, hey, I really would like women to take it upon themselves to create their own outreach group and not have to go through Steve for everything, right? So we're kind of here purposefully to just take it upon ourselves as women to take charge of outreach, not only internationally, I'm going to talk to you about that today, but locally, what are the needs? And then within the church, what are the needs? So I'm going to give you some things that he's told me are available to us. And then I invited Christy and Mary with us today to speak to the needs. Christy's going to speak to the needs of some of the international and local outreach. Mary's going to speak to the needs of some things inside of our church with the widows ministry. And so I'll get us kicked off. That's the reason why we're here. And I have some signups today if you're interested in international, local, or in-house type outreach opportunities. You can sign your name to that. But we are really looking for some women to step up and say, I'd like to be kind of the lead over that group, that thing. So if you're listening online, you're watching the recording, just know that you're also a part of that. We have about 10 women in the room right now. There's 36 women who signed up on the sheet to be a part of this outreach. So that's a good start. And we're just going to keep growing that group. But some women are interested in things that other women are not, right? So we want to be able to meet the needs of everybody. And one thing that became clear to me not that long ago was that not everyone wants to serve inside the walls of the church. They want to go outside the walls of the church, or they want to do both. But there isn't a lot of opportunity that we know of, or it's not like sitting right in front of you to say, here's your opportunity, now go do that. And so Steve Allen is coming up with a big list for us of all the local and international and all the different outreach opportunities that are happening that we're partnered with. So that's coming down the pipeline, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. And when we have that, if you're on his email list, you'll get those opportunities too. I think the great thing about that is with life groups, we can say, okay, here's, as a life group, do a serve opportunity, and here's all the lists of the needs out there. Because would you guys agree you don't really know what's available? Yeah, me too. And I have a life group and I'm like, okay, let's serve, but where, right? So today I also want to hear from you guys as to what things that we may not be talking about that you know of in our community and you'd like to add to the list or make sure that Steve isn't forgetting, and that as women that we may be able to meet that need. So I'm going to bring Christy up. Come on up, Christy Nance. Christy and I met a couple of years ago. She's been coming to our church for a while now, and she owns and operates a nursing school all around, internationally and here locally in Spokane. I'm going to just let her take it over from here and talk about how we can work with her in her schools.
So my name is Christy. I've been going to Valley Real Life here for 8 years. And so I wanted to share a little bit about this journey because I think it'll give a little bit of background, and I'm guessing it'll speak to some of you of your background. I actually had the international, I'll say bug, put in my heart when I was a child. I had a missionary from India that spoke at our church when I was probably like 10 or 11. And you know, it's not like I heard an audible voice, but I knew it just was in my heart, and it was like, oh, I want to do that someday. And then life happens, right? Life, you go through life, and so I ended up going through nursing school, and I was 30, I had 2 kids, and I selfishly became very inward at that point of my life. It was about growth and money and what's the next step and what can I do? And one day I just thought, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. So I took a drive to Lake Coeur d'Alene, and there was this little bird that came next to my car, and I looked at that, and the Lord reminded me of a scripture from when I was a child, and it was Matthew 10:29-31. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. I knew at that moment I was to make a big life change. And I went into my work, and The next day, I didn't have a job. And I wasn't really upset. I knew God had already prepared me for this time. So I went home to my husband. Of course, that doesn't feel good though. It doesn't feel good, especially when you've been driven. And we both knew that that was the time God had called us to this. So in 2018, we opened Sparrow Healthcare Education. It was a nursing assistant school. And we had no idea we were going into a pandemic, of course. But we had a promise that God had given us. And he also had birthed inside of me this international piece that I had to just lay and be like, Lord, I have no idea. I have no idea how this is going to happen. Well, interesting enough, in our local Spokane community, we've had over 200 Kenyan students come through our school every year. Women that are brand new in the area. And a lot of them are Christian women, but they're brand new. They go to the grocery store in the US and they don't know how to shop they're not used to the markets, right? And so we have, as a school, they're worth more than many sparrows, right? And that's what we consider for our students. And so we have a great need of helping these women. They have asked to have a Bible study in our school. So those are the things that we're talking about of involvement. A lot of just relational. Because if you're like me, I go to the grocery store and I don't see 200 Kenyan women in the grocery store, but they're in our community and even more. I'm touching a very small portion of the women. So that locally is something that you could be involved in, is local at our school and helping involved with our Kenyan population. Of course, we have more other cultures that are coming in now too, but that is. And then out of this, back when I was in nursing school, I had the opportunity to go to Calcutta, India. And I had met a pastor over there that we've stayed in touch all these years. And they have donated us some property over there to open a nursing school. So that is an opportunity. So we're looking for some help to kind of come alongside of us. That's in baby steps right now. And then we also have Honduras. Honduras is a school that was handed to me. Long story, but a lady said I no longer, she went on to law school and said I no longer can have this school. So they handed us a school in Honduras. It has 42 something nursing students. We graduate classes every year. So there's great opportunities. Steve was able to go down with me last time. So opportunities in Honduras, if you're a nurse or in medical, there's teaching, of course. There is also opportunity for Bible study. They're very faith-based in that community. There's also opportunity for like a Women's Day to love on these women. So all of these women are sponsored. They can't afford to go to school, so that's how they're handpicked. It gets them out of poverty and gives them an opportunity. But with that, they don't have a whole lot, so they are loved on. In the back, I have a picture of one of the girls. She doesn't have any family, and she was one of the ones accepted into the school. She calls me mom. She loved on Steve too. First time genuine love was given to her, and so I brought that picture just as a symbol of, there's lots more girls like that, but she doesn't have any family, but she's gonna graduate this year with a nursing degree and have an opportunity. So that's just a small little, picture of what we're doing. We are looking for people to get involved. There's lots of opportunities. So one thing that I have learned, and I know I'm speaking to the choir, is pray about where God wants you to be used. He'll lay that little nugget on your heart, whether it's locally, internationally. And as Jolene said, we're looking for leads that can lead this ministry and lead in these countries. I leave in 2 weeks to go to India, back again, just to lay some more foundational steps. But pray, see if God has that little nugget that was placed on my heart so many years ago. So
Thank you, Christy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, does anyone have any questions for Christy? Why don't you stay on that for a second?
Are these registered nurses or are they nursing assistants?
They're registered nurses in Honduras and India.
Okay,
CNAs locally.
gotcha.
Just to comment, this is so God. I'm making my 33rd trip to Kenya on Saturday
Oh.
in a ministry I'm involved in over there. So we will definitely have to talk.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Good, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have a heart for the Kenyan women here locally, that'd be great. We'll connect with Christy on that. I'll send around that sheet. There's gonna be multiple places you might wanna sign up for if you're interested in international travel. Philippines is another one for women that we might address this, not 2023, but probably 2024, as this for the first time. I've been on staff less than a year, and so to me, this is all new too, to say, let's just get women together and travel together and serve together. And the Honduras trip right now is looking like it would be a mixed travel situation, because it's not as stable in terms of safety unless the man who runs the school, right?
Yes, is with
present.
us.
But that would be the case.
Yeah, we're looking at potential, some like work teams of some men coming alongside of us, so.
So just kind of keep that in mind if your husband or significant others or brother or whoever want to come along, that'd be great. But I'm really excited about that. And the Philippines trip is something that he said is easy, just we could do that. We'd partner with our Philippines church there. The husband-wife couple that run that church would easily have multiple things for us to be involved with. And there's also a day built in for us to go and explore the Philippines and enjoy that as well. So we're looking at adding that on. But let us know if you're interested in that. We'll have the sign-up sheet go around. And then I'm gonna call Mary up next. Thanks, Christy. So this is Mary Phillips. She runs our widows ministry here at the church and stepped into that role about 6 months ago, something like that.
Seems like a lifetime ago.
She's amazing. She's been doing awesome things for the widows. So we're not just here at Valley Real Life, but widows in our community that need support. She wants to find them. And so if you know of people that are not connected, get them connected with Mary. But I'm not gonna steal your thunder. You do your thing.
I've been to Romania. My heart was broken then for the widows there, because their life is horrible, as you know, in small villages, the way it can be. And I thought, I can't really go back there, especially when the pandemic hit. And so I fortunately was able to have a heart open to what God had to say, and he said, there are other widows in your own community that need help. So it's not easy, because a lot of us widows are older. We have a few that are younger, but some of the older ones, we don't drive, especially at night. And so that limits some things we can do, unless we can get help from the life groups or different people who would like to come alongside of us and say, okay, I'm having a day retreat for the women in Deer Park. Now I'm in a place of how am I gonna get everybody there, because not all women are able to drive or wanting to drive. So trying to get carpool situations set up there. So that's gonna be a need. Our biggest need is I want to get these women out of their comfort zone in their home and start serving the community. And a lot of ideas like you had, I'm sure there's some that were nurses who could do some sort of, I'm a gerontologist, I'm thinking, oh, okay, one thing on your plate at a time, Mary. I'm thinking, oh, I want to go there. Okay, so we'll see where God's gonna take this. I have started several ministries here at the church. God has, after almost 75 years of life, I have a lot of different experiences, and so he's gifted me in helping to start things up and then lift somebody up to take over that situation. And it's not hard with widows. So I'm trying to find a younger widow or somebody younger who would like to come alongside of me and help me in serving not only the widows, but the community. Just an idea of some of the things that we need. One is, I am praying faithfully that the church will get a van. That's just one of the things I'm praying for, if you want to add that to your prayer list, because it'd be very helpful if we have somebody, a van that we can take and drive. I'm having a day retreat in Deer Park, so we're looking for a life group that maybe has some people who during the day, in the morning can take them up or back. Looking if anybody wants to donate to the food that we're gonna, make a pot of soup for us so we don't have to make it, that type of thing. I'm going to start the first Friday of every month at 11 o'clock here at the church, because it'll be quiet, to have the women come and just start fellowshipping and laughing and having some fun. And so if there's ever a life group that says, hey, we'd like to do something, let's take coffee to those women, or let's take sandwiches to them, or something like that, just for their little hour or so that they're gonna be, working and trying to develop this ministry. It'll also be a time where we can pray with each other, and sometimes it's just a bad day and we just need somebody to give us a hug. So today's message was really important to a lot of us widows, because touch is something we are longing for. We're looking for maybe a life group, and I just keep putting this out thinking, okay, God will provide. Maybe somebody has a lake place they'd like to invite the widows up to spend a day, or has a boat. Hey, come on up, we'll take you for boat rides. Something just to get us out of our sorrow. Though after 4 years, the sorrow is not always there, but it comes at the worst times, like right now. The needs that we have are simple. I can change a light bulb because of my shoulder. You can't get up on steps. We go without a light bulb or a light fixture working first, because you don't want to hire somebody. Your light switch isn't working. I need a thermostat put on. I got somebody who came and analyzed it and could do all that and said, okay, this is all you need. Now I need somebody to hook up the thermostat for me, because I don't do electrical. I'll do plumbing, but I won't do electrical. There are some women who are downsizing their homes and are overwhelmed and some of them look pretty bad, some of them aren't bad, but they need help. And family isn't really good at doing stuff like that sometimes. And so we've had different people go to a different widow's house and clean a room and help sort it out. They have a garage that needs cleaned out and they can't do it themselves. They need somebody to take the stuff to the dump. The needs, if you stop and think of not having your health and your physical ability anymore to do the things that you and your husband did together, it's really difficult. And it's hard to ask for help. So I'm trying to put this out to people that there's a need, and I'm getting the women to tell me what they need so that we can help them. It's hard to get people to admit what you want and let people do it. Our huge thing is every one of the widows that I have talked to needs help this spring. Leaves, raking leaves. If we could find young people who could come rake the leaves, because I don't know about your yard, but I got a lot of trees and it looks really bad. Some people can afford to have somebody come do it, but not all the widows can afford that. And so we're looking for a life group who maybe they'll come and 3 or 4 of them can come and do the yard work and get it cleaned up for the summer, and then we can keep it up. Invite a widow to coffee. I have a whole list and phone numbers of women. If you could go pick somebody up and say, hey, you want to go to coffee today? I'll come pick you up. It's a blessing to have somebody want to socialize with you. I have one widow that says, I have this beautiful home, but nobody ever comes over. And being the personality I am, I want to help everybody. So I think, okay, when can I go see her? And I'm going, it's really, Mary, not your responsibility to do all these things. It's my responsibility to find people who can help do these things. Let's see. sometimes they need a ride somewhere and they're afraid to ask. I mean, I have found myself in that position recently a lot because I've had some health things happen, and who do you have take you for a colonoscopy? I mean, seriously, you know, you can't, you have to have a driver there. I mean, you can only ask the same person so many times. So, you know, little things like that, if the widows will let me know what the needs are, to know that there are people out there who will do things to help us. The other thing is, maybe have a little brunch in your home for a couple of them. I mean, those are just ideas that I've come up with. I know there are a lot more. I'm only so good at brainstorming myself. I have to have somebody to bounce it off of, and my dog listens, but she doesn't respond. So these are the needs that are out there of just the widows. And we also want to serve though, which I'm hoping that there's an area, because not all of us are good on little kids anymore because we can't chase them. But if there's maybe, and I was gonna see if this is okay with the church, if a widow wants to say, well, Mom, I'll meet you at the church, you get a friend and go to coffee or go to lunch, and the kids can play on the playground and I'll watch them. If we're allowed to do that, that would be something we could do for some of the young moms. I'm sure there are a lot of needs out there that the widows can do, whether it's something in their home, writing, creating, whatever. We want to serve too. I want to get them involved in both directions.
Thank you. Say, right, anyone have any questions for Mary or thoughts for her?
So I do, the Helping Hands, the guys group that they go out and do stuff. So do you give lists, like when you find things like, oh, I need my thermostat replaced, I need 4 light bulbs done, or I have a switch that doesn't work, or my whatever, my plumbing is like, do you guys communicate with them to make lists of things?
Yeah, I'm trying to, there was a little change in who the leader was, and through the Christmas holidays, I kind of wasn't in touch with anybody for anything, it seems like. So I want to, because I've had a lot of widows say, is there a list of people? Is there who we can call? So I'm trying to get together a list. I know that there's somebody that will do oil changes for widows. We have somebody that will, that you can trust, take your car to and do repairs, or say, hey, they told me I need all of this done. And I go in and he says, you don't need that done, you just need this one thing done. So, you know, unfortunately, people do take advantage of widows. And yes, I am trying to find somebody to help me put that list together. I just have got a lot of little areas that I'm working in.
When you're saying that you're trying to find someone to help you put that list together, is it that you need, obviously there's the support of who's gonna actually do the work. Are you saying that there is already a group or ministry in the church
it's called the Helping Hands.
Okay.
I just need,
You need someone to make the list and know who
what can we come to Helping Hands and get the help for?
and then coordinate with Helping Hands.
Right, yeah, so that's what I'm looking for, because if I tell somebody just call Scott or just call somebody, it doesn't quite get where it needs to be. I need to have more one-on-one connection with that group.
Or we need to rely on our own networks
Yeah,
and say, hey, my husband may not be on the Helping Hands ministry, but he can go change a light bulb for you, right? So it sounds like you don't necessarily even need a young widow. You just might need somebody younger who's willing to take on this administrative responsibility of putting together this stuff. Because you're great at reaching the widows because you've been there. They relate to you. But when it comes to the other stuff, it gets a little overwhelming, it sounds like.
because I have a lot of trying to coordinate this and that, because I'm really, right now, I had a widow that was helping me, but then something happened in their life, and I mean, things just happen. And so I'm really a one-person leader right now, and I can use any help I can get in that respect, so.
A couple things coming up in Widows Ministry is the February 14th Valentine's Day's coming up. We do have a need for collecting more vases for.
I've got a
Did
whole
you get
bunch
them
in
all?
my car. Did you get the ones
I
from
haven't
the
bought
dollars?
them yet.
Okay, I've got, I should have just bought them.
I know.
And given you the receipt. I might just do that today.
Okay.
Wait,
All right.
wait, what do you need for vases?
We need
Well, to give though, not.
I know.
Oh, but yeah, yes, so.
single rows or small
Single rose vases.
vases that we
Like,
can-
do you want tall ones or
doesn't
does,
matter.
it doesn't matter?
Like how many?
There are 84 widows.
So 100 vases.
40 some of them are active,
Okay, 50 vases.
so.
So how many do you need beyond what you have? 32? Didn't you say? You need 32
I
more?
don't know how many I've got in my car right now, but I
Okay.
brought them and so
Okay, we'll have a sign up sheet. If you wanna help the widows out, write that specifically down. We'll make sure
and
you're.
if you've got vases,
I-
talk to me.
But we're also looking for drivers who will drive those bud vases with the rose and a little card from the Kidman area. Each kid is gonna, little kid is gonna write a note to the widows. And then we're also gonna have candles for them. So just those, we need delivery drivers for that, would be great. And on the 14th of February.
Yeah.
And then you'll have the retreat coming up. What day is that again?
April 24th, I believe.
April
it is.
24th.
Yeah,
Looking for food and anything you guys wanna give there. And then, rides.
right.
And then you also mentioned the Friday,
Friday mornings here.
the first Friday of the month.
Yep.
The first one's gonna be March
Third.
3rd.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we could do any kind of food or fun, something fun, just to bless the widows.
And there may only be me there, I don't know. I've just designed the postcard to get sent. And see, that's the other thing, is getting hold of these widows is not easy, because they all are on social media, and I have a website. And I have, well, it's a Facebook page, and they don't all do texting, and so I make credit cards. I make postcards.
I'm signing up.
Yeah, right,
Me too, they're small.
And so that's another need is I can get it created, but I need somebody now to address them and things like that. We do have one widow, I haven't been able to get in touch with her yet to hook up to get her to address them and put the stamps on them and send them out, so.
The cool thing about like me being involved in the widows ministry recently is that over Christmas and we had a big snowstorm, I messaged her and I was like, hey, does anyone need their driveway shoveled? But if we had a group of us caring and asking that question to the lead person that was in charge of these needs, that the widows could just text that lead person and say, I'm stuck in my driveway and I need to get to a doctor's appointment, or I need a ride somewhere. And then we would all be kind of checking in with those needs and caring for our widows in our church that way.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So I have a question. Is there any kind of a program where it would be like adopt a widow kind of thing?
Hey,
Where,
I would love somebody to adopt some of
yeah.
us.
But you know what I mean? Like have some kind of a thing where, I don't know, where like a family could adopt a widow and then they're kind of their representative.
That would be so
And then they
awesome.
would reach out to them for help, and then whatever if it wasn't their
I mean,
expertise, then they could find
I have
somebody.
stepchildren, I've never had children, so it's that little bit of, they're not really my kids, how much do I ask them? So it would be nice to have somebody that would take a widow under their wing and say,
Mhm.
hey, it's, a holiday coming up. Maybe they have family, but maybe they don't.
Right.
I have one widow that spent Christmas by herself, and I'm going, why? So yes, I'm going to write that on my list. And would you put your name down and next
You got married.
Yeah.
They're number one on the list.
I'd
so,
take her.
Yeah, so that's what I need, so. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to start spreading the word about widows and what our needs are and, reach out to them. It's a difficult time. Anyway, thank you.
You're welcome. On the similar note, single moms are also on the heart of women here at our church. We have a lot of single moms. Recently, I just met one today, and she's brand new to the church, first time checking it out. Kids love the church. She's probably going to come back, but what do we have for them to feel welcome here? She's like, I work full time as a teacher. I am crazy busy at night with the boys. I have no time for life group. So putting your mind to get, the collective, what can we do for single moms in the church, or single dads even, to support them and make them feel something. Even if it's just we're thinking of you, here's a box of things that make you feel special and you're loved here. Whatever that is, I'd like to create something for single moms, so that's part of my heart here locally in our church. single moms and widows. What about, like, what's come to your guys' mind as far as what we could do here in the church, or what is a need that we aren't currently meeting that could be something we should be thinking about?
That's why I'm here today, is just to kind of hear what is out there.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of the handymans, I wasn't even aware of the handymans group, so it's just good to kind of hear, then it starts making my brain kind of start thinking.
So it sounds like we need to create this list of these needs,
Yes.
and that's gonna be where we can go from there. And so we'll do that and get that to you guys. As far as local outreach, Christy mentioned the Kenyan students at her school. Beyond that, Thrive Center is something that we've just recently helped with our campaign at Christmas time. And they said that we are welcome anytime as a group of women to go and work with the kids. One of the ladies of our church went and made Christmas cookies with the kids, and they loved it. And the moms got to learn how to make American Christmas cookies. And so if you have a talent for anything and you want to bring that to the Thrive Center.
What does that mean? They made American cookies. What's Thrive?
The Thrive Center is the Ugandan
Oh, Uganda.
center.
Okay. It was like
Ukrainian. Sorry, Ukrainian.
Got Uganda in the
Ukrainian.
brain.
I said that before too, and I'm like, whoops. Ukrainian refugees that are now living at the hotel they call the Thrive Center.
Now
See, now that's something a widow could do
Mhm.
if we had somebody who could transport them if they aren't able to drive.
Yeah.
Just an idea, because I'm thinking, see, there's another one I'm gonna do.
Yes. So Mary was saying, for those of you who are on Facebook Live watching, that the widows could, if they had a ride, they could be able to go there and provide services. So whether that even be if you're a teacher or you want to teach something, you want to knit with them, you want to read the kids a book, you want to give the moms a break from the kids, take the kids for a little while and let the moms just be, or take the moms somewhere. These are people that have had real lives back in their country that they don't have that ability here. They aren't working, and I think that a lot of them need emotional and social support. So that is a local outreach that our church is partnering with. Also, World Relief. So part of the money that we all raised at Christmas time went to furnishing apartments in Spokane area for Afghan refugees. And so that is another thing, if we were able to work with World Relief and maybe we do some of the shopping for them. So I have the contacts for that. So if you're interested in helping out with World Relief, that is another partner of Valley Real Life. How about, instead of out in the church, what about right outside the church in our local community? Do you have any ideas, things that you want us to know about that we can put on that list that Steve may not be aware of?
I have one. I volunteer downtown at Cup of Cool Water. It's an outreach to homeless youth, 14 to 24.
Okay.
And we have a need for lunch meals.
Okay.
We provide the kids with 4 lunches, 2 dinners, and 1 breakfast in a week.
Okay.
And so if a life group wanted to once a month, once a quarter, once a week, prepare a meal we usually have 20 to 25 kids drop
Okay.
in.
Great.
And
Cup of cool water.
Cup of Cool Water. It's downtown.
Okay.
And so that's a need that
Okay.
we're always looking for people to come alongside and do a meal.
What's your name?
Linda Mahoney.
Anyone else have any local ones that we need to know about or are passionate about? Some people may have come to the meeting or on Facebook Live or watching this recording later. Just make a comment in the Facebook group, or if something comes to your mind later, you can let me know. My email address is just jfisher, Fisher, @vrl.church if you guys want to get a hold of me, and you've been getting my emails, so you can just respond there. If you aren't already on the email list and want to be added to it, or you know someone who needs to be on that email list and they're passionate about this kind of thing, beside Wednesday morning Bible study, I have not even put this out in an all church-wide email yet, so we're starting with this big of a group just from Wednesday morning Bible study and from just some word of mouth. So that's pretty cool. We've got a big group of women who care here at the church. So I'm gonna send this around, and if you guys want to sign up for something in particular or all 3, go ahead and do that. And then we can talk a little bit more about the opportunities that were raised today. Any other questions or thoughts? Or
With the schools
You know that we support Riverbend and Green Acres Elementary Schools. I'm kind of the contact
Do you want to
there.
come up here and talk about that?
Jan.
Good, right here.
I can hear
We'll
you.
just all turn around to you then.
There's a camera over there. But the need, we try to really appreciate the teachers and the staff. You know, they're inundated with all kinds of things. So once a month or every other month, we try to treat or, you know, boost their morale a little bit, and then treat the kids once in a while too. So I can always use people to help write appreciation notes. We try to get them out, you know, every 2 or 3 months or so. Take in bagels or lunches as well. There is a project though I would love, I think the widows and any of the women's group, Riverbend wants to also give back to the community because we have blessed them. They would like their families involved in something, and I was thinking those little fleece tie together blankets.
Yeah.
You could do that at the school or at the church. That would be a great, I think, mending of the
Okay.
church people with the schools, so.
So if you couldn't hear that online, Jan was talking about Riverbend and Green Acres Elementary School are 2 schools that we support here at Valley Real Life, and so we need support there. If elementary schools are your thing, or you guys are excited about that, definitely write your name on the local outreach sheet, and then I'll put that in the email as a, what we've talked about today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And also, Kara Parkman isn't able to be here today, but she wants to start a knitting ministry. And she is really heavily involved in Wednesday Women's Bible Study. She's the lady that does all my tech for me. But she is an avid knitter, and she wants to create a prayer shawl ministry. And so that would be meeting here at the church.
Just knitting, or can they crochet too?
Crochet, anything, yeah. Whatever you want. But she's thinking of having that start up so that we can create nice things for the communities. She just made 50 hats for the Ukrainian kids at the Thrive Center, and all by herself. So that is a cool option for people who are really interested in that, and meeting together as women who want to study the Bible together, pray together, fellowship together. That's going to be a new life group we're forming here at the church as well. I'm into doing life groups that have interest group like qualities, like this prayer shawl ministry. So if that's something that's on your heart, to create a interest group like life group for women that has a purpose behind it, that can serve, that you're getting together for fellowshipping, praying, then it's a life group, right? The women's widows ministry is a interest group, so to speak. They have similar needs, right? So if that is something that interests you, please let me know so I can put it in the next newsletter or on these emails that go out just specifically to you guys. Am I shouting? Yes.
I was gonna say, this isn't like, well, it can be, but local, national, international. Debbie and I, Ashmore, have been doing Operation Christmas Child boxes forever. Like, I've been doing it since '98. A previous church that we went to, we did it there and stuff. I've talked to, like last year, I talked to them, and they said that, I talked to Steve Allen, and he said that they weren't interested in doing it like a church-wide thing, but he said maybe like just your Wednesday morning Bible study, or I don't know. And when you said life group, I'm like, wonder how many other gals are like OCD for OCC. Like literally, like my basement is covered all the time. Her house, like we start packing boxes like as soon as we ship them out, you know. So
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
Love it.
So if we could get interest from anybody that even wants to do one box, I don't care, you know. But one box is one child, is one life for the Lord.
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful idea. I was actually sad to see it not be here anymore. And when it's not in your face, you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's great if we were to bring it back within women's ministry, then around the time we need collections and stuff, then I'll mention it from stage, Wednesday morning Bible study, but also in my newsletters.
Sometimes it's good to, go ahead, get the boxes, pass them out. If people have a box sitting there, they can start out in January and February, praying over their child and deciding who they wanted, male, female, age group, etc. And then if they choose, like, oh, I think I want to do a little girl 5 to 9, then like during the year when they go out and they go to Penny's and, oh, there's a cute little shirt on clearance, I'll just put that in the box. And so as you're out and about, if you're thinking about and praying for one child in particular or one age group or whatever, one gender, then you can kind of watch and it becomes a whole lot easier and not quite such a financial burden to put together a box.
See, this is the thing that Steve was talking about. He's overwhelmed with the needs of the church, and so when we can say, I will take responsibility for this area, and then you're connected to me as a women's ministry lead, and I'm supportive of that, and we take that on as a women's ministry, then it takes that burden off of him. And so that's exactly, I think you're spot on, we're gonna do that, and I love that idea. I think we need to do that for international outreach to children, and I think that's so sweet.
Like say one box will affect 10 people. So if you can't go as a missionary overseas or whatever, like send a box, send 10 boxes, whatever, like bless 100 people.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's churches that are built from one box. There's, I mean, and all those kids that you're gonna see in the kingdom someday.
Yes.
So.
Yes, Mary.
I need somebody who'd like to do a women's Bible study during the day, because I can't lead 12 Bible studies. And there are widows that really would like to be involved, but I can't lead them all. And I don't have the space to do it. So if anybody wants to do that, it's just fine with that.
Is there any kind of a program for shut-ins?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Does anyone know of one here at the church?
There,
Okay.
Program for shut-ins?
no, but there are a lot of them.
Yeah, there is.
What would be an idea around that you can think of?
Again, adopt one. Just to find somebody that is willing to go there weekly or every other week, just to check in and pray with them.
You need to begin an adoption agency.
I know.
For old people and shut-ins.
Yeah. Well, I've actually done that a little tiny bit with, I used to be a different religion, and I used to go to her house every week, and I was Catholic. I used to take her communion. And so, yeah. And so, but it was super easy, and it was really close to the church, and my husband and my kids waited in the car. It wasn't a big deal. I'd go there for 15, 20, 25 minutes and play with her and listen to her for a minute and give her communion, and it wasn't a huge time commitment, but it was huge. So
There's a big need.
yeah, there is a really big need, so that's why I didn't know if there was something I was set up.
Yeah. So again, if you can't hear that, we're talking about adopting a widow or adopting shut-ins as an idea here at the church.
Yeah.
What are some other thoughts, ideas, needs in our community or internationally and locally?
I love all of these ideas, and it would be really nice to know the names of the people that are kind of when you send out an email, you could kind of say this person's doing this, and then we would be able to get in contact. And I also know in our women's small group, there's a lot of moms that are homeschooling their kids, and they have been talking about that. And I just retired as a teacher, and I'm thinking, how can you help? Can we provide some tutoring or some time to relieve those moms? Because it's hard. It's hard. I hear what they're saying. It's hard with their own children, and so maybe something like that. Look at some literacy things for the kids within the church, and then even outside the walls to that, bringing some families in.
Okay. Why don't we plan to have another meeting in about a month? And in the meantime, I'm gonna send out an email of all the ideas we've come up with. You guys start letting the juices flow in your brain and say, how do I wanna support and help? And email me some background on yourself. I think that's great that you're a retired teacher and you wanna help in that area. We need people like you. When I was thinking about doing the homeschool classroom on Wednesday morning Bible study, 3 women stepped up who were, used to be, one woman in particular, Marla Ellis, said, that's where God's calling me. I want to be a teacher for the homeschool kids. And then she drug 2 of her friends along with her. And they're doing great. And as God will just bless whatever we decide to step out in faith to do. But we have to step out and say, okay, I'm ready. God, where do you want me? But if we don't know the opportunity, that's kind of makes it hard to make that first step. And so we're gonna start with making opportunity. There is some already, but then there's a lot I don't know about. So email me what's on your heart, some background on yourself, what you love, what you would be interested in serving in, and then I can start to form some ideas around interest groups and various things, and then that will be part of those emails in the future, because if we don't know the need, it's hard to meet the need.
Yeah.
So I think we'll call it there, because DNA is in 15 minutes and I'm a table host. But if you guys can help me with the chairs, there is a chair rack just right here in the hallway. Grab your chair, put it on the chair rack, and then we'll put this room back to
So and your email again was
Jay Fisher.
FISH?
Yes.
Just in time to close.
I didn't know if there was a C in there.
Hi, everybody.
But just in general with that, with the cookie